Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you so much for joining us for our Friday weather update for November the 25th and our forecast right out to December the 1st across New Zealand, Australia and the South Pacific. On the animated wind map today, we put on there the temperatures, and the green shading you see around the South Island and Tasmania shows that cooler airflow coming in, the south to southwesterly flow over those two areas. The North Island not quite as cool with a westerly blowing through, but many of you have commented on the humidity easing, making for better sleeping. But the shading around much of Australia shows a warmer change has come through for you after a cold start to the week. So Australia's started this week cooler and ends it warmer, New Zealand the other way around. Let's have a look at the lightning, courtesy of Weather Watch and IBM's high-res lightning data. Most of it out to sea now, east of New Zealand being pushed away, but there's still the risk of a few more thunderstorms across Friday in central New Zealand, the upper South Island and the lower half of the North Island in particular. Australia is not very thundery, although it is up around Darwin, and up in the tropics, Samoa and Vanuatu are the two areas that are seeing the bulk of the thunderstorms at the moment. Let's have a look at rainfall for the next 5 days, and the two areas with the heaviest rain, the Taranaki region in the North Island and the west coast of the South Island, especially southwestland, where you could get up to about 100 millimetres. And New Zealanders, you can go to the Weather Watch website and see the rain forecast maps, these rain accumulation maps, similar ones to these that go out for a whole week ahead. Over in Australia, the heaviest rain from Darwin down to Cairns with about 80 or 90 millimetres on the way for you. And you'll see rain all the way down to about Brisbane, although that's mostly showers and easterlies that you'll see in the forecast coming up for next week. So let's take a look at the forecast. Here we are on Saturday with the colder southerly change coming into the lower South Island. So Southland and Otago will feel a bit wintry this weekend. Could even be a dusting of snow on the mountains and ranges as that southerly comes in out of the Southern Ocean. Westerlies for the North Island though. And in Australia, a windy nor'wester from Melbourne down to Tasmania, probably the biggest feature on Saturday. By Sunday, we've got this area of low pressure around the upper North Island. It's a trough, which is like a pothole in the sky or a low pressure zone that's just trying to get going but hasn't quite got there. There's low pressure in this zone here and some rain. It's very patchy. There'll be dry areas and drizzly spells too, but patchy rain is around for a large part of Sunday, and that could affect some Santa parades going on around the country. And this is messy kind of weather from about Christchurch to Whangarei, but there are dry areas in the south and also around the North Island as well. Let's take a look at next week. So Monday kicks off with high pressure to the north, and actually a bit of a breather day for the North Island, although the westerlies or sou'westers are still a little bit breezy through the Auckland area, and down in the South Island, a nor'west flow is building up. Windy westerlies across Tasmania and windy easterlies coming in for Western Australia. By the time we get to Tuesday, there's the cold front moving into the South Island. It's pretty weak, but it also connects up to Australia around the New South Wales-Queensland border, so there'll be a little bit of rain through there, but really this is the main guiding feature for you here on Tuesday. And up in the tropics, you've got easterly winds blowing through with the usual showers. By Wednesday, that cold front comes into the North Island, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two, not as much as what we've just seen. And that's going to be transitioning from nor'westers to sou'westers coming through. And then this big high getting closer and closer to New Zealand. And here's our final map for the first day of December, summer on the meteorological calendar at least, but it's worth noting that the astronomical dates for spring means that spring carries on until the summer solstice, which is the 22nd of December this year. So there's still another 3 or so weeks to go of spring, which explains this weather map here on the first day of summer, because you're seeing another cold change coming into the South Island, sou'westers carrying on for much of the country. Up in the tropics, pretty quiet still, but we've got this wet weather and easterlies for Queensland, and I've got to say, there's a large area of low pressure forming up here. Not locking in anything yet, but I'm just saying, as we go into the first half of December, I'd keep an eye on this zone here. There could be our first tropical storm of the year. We'll keep an eye on it. It's showed up on a couple of models. That doesn't mean it's happening yet. Very low confidence this far out, but you can see that red line dropping down. That's a sign that the humidity up in the tropics is trying to drop southwards. That's all from me. Have a great weekend. We'll see you again on Monday.